Hello, this is Cindy. Welcome to my channel, and today we are making pockets. This is a Fun Fold Friday, and we're making pockets. Now, before I get started, I did want to say, I have a couple notes here that I wanted to make sure I brought up with everybody. First of all, you notice that we're moving Fun Fold Friday to much earlier in the month. It's usually the last Friday of the month, and this time it is, we're 2 weeks in. And I'm doing that on purpose because when we get to the end of the month, I have some other things that we're doing, and then the beginning of January has some stuff. So yeah, I'm moving Fun Fold Friday to today. So we're doing this today. I'm working on my purple journal. I have finally decided on my covers. I have 2 signatures. We'll set that aside because I don't need it right now. And for what you're going to need for this particular project is basically square paper. I have 2 6x6s here. This page and this page came out of the Twilight from Recollections. It's a 6x6 pad. And then I took a 12x12 and I cut it down to 10x10. I want to play with this size and see what this, we can do the same thing. I just want to see what it looks like in this size. I got this idea from Natasha at Treasure Books, and she got the idea from somebody else. And this is one of the things I absolutely love about all of these YouTube videos, is that you can see several different people do the same project, but everybody describes it differently. And you just find the right teacher for you, who explains things the way you understand it. So I will put the link to Natasha's video down below. And she does it with a 12x12 sheet as well as a 6x6. The 12x12 is way too big for any journal that I do. It's just not going to fit. So I thought I would try it with a 10x10. It might work better with an 8x8. We'll see. Because when you hold this up to a journal, let me grab one of my journals. I just set it up there. When I put this into a journal, I've got some pieces that are ready to go in here. You can see that the size is about that big. Making sure I'm on camera. Okay, so the size is about that big, which gives you a lot of room left on the page. So I want to try the 10x10 and see what that comes out to be. All right. I would like to give, before I get too much into this, I would like to talk about the craft fair that I just did. You may have noticed on my coffee page, basically you're going to start with this, you're going to fold it in half, corner to corner. And you may notice on my coffee page that I have taken down several of my journals. That's because I sold them. This was a great weekend at the craft fair, and I sold 5 out of 6 paper bag journals. I sold 7 of my large journals and all but 2 of my small journals. So it was a really great weekend. I do want to give a shout out to Lisa for having come to the, you know what, I want to do it this way. I did it that way, and now I'm realizing I want to do it this way. Because what I want is for the color to show up on here. If you have a 2-sided 6x6, I have no 2-sided 6x6s. But if you have a 2-sided 6x6, you're going to have a pattern down here. So just decide which pattern you want in here. And then that's what's going to show up. So I'm going to fold it with my pattern in. And then I'm going to bring this point down. I'm trying to keep myself lined up here a little bit. Just bring it down, and you're going to try to make a nice, I've got it here on my mat so that I can try to make a nice level fold. Okay, that's going to be this flap that comes down here. So I have a nice level fold. So a shout out to Lisa. And Lisa, I am very sorry that I did not recognize you when you walked in the room. A brain fart. That's all I can say, is that it was a brain fart. I'm going to take my corner and I'm going to come up here now, and I'm going to come to my fold. I can come all the way up to my fold, or I can come almost up to my fold. This particular time I have come almost up to my fold. And I'm going to tell you this works with thinner paper better. So when we get to the 10x10, or the 10x10, that might actually be a little bit easier. This is cardstock paper, and it is a little bit stiff. I'm going to bring that end up and match it. So I have two that match now. I've got all my folds done here. And then I'm going to bring that down. Now, at this point, this is where if you want to round anything, round your edges. And I'm going to for this one. I didn't for the other one, but I'm going to for this one because I do like how that looks. And if you want to do any distressing, this is the time to do the distressing. I don't want to distress this one. If I do, I will simply do the outsides later and I won't do the flap. So now to do this, all you really need to do, and I may be, yeah, I have a lot of glue that kind of collected around. There we go. I'm going to put a little bead of glue along here and fold it up. And if some squeezes out, don't worry about it. It's not going to be seen. It'll be under the flap. And then I'm going to put another bead of glue over here. Now, I will tell you, I probably should have led with this. I do have an extra fold to share with you at the end. So we're going to do this fold, and we'll do this one, a couple of them. And then I have another one to show you that will be a little bit different. Now, you notice I didn't fold up underneath there. You could do a couple things here. You could leave this down and just, have it in your journal folded down and then use that as a tuck spot. I don't want to do that with this one, so I'm going to make sure that those folds don't really go anywhere. And I am going to just tack, come on, there we go. I am just tacking that down. I did not tack this one down because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing. So and that's it. That's all there is to it. That's really simple. So you're going to take your piece, keep it right side up. This is again another piece of cardstock, so it's a little bit stiff. You're going to fold it in half and then give that a good crease. You're going to take your point and bring your point down, and I use my mat for this to make sure that I get that fold level-ish, so that I'm keeping it nice and straight over here. And then I'm going to push that back up out of the way, sorry. And then I want to bring this up all the way. This one I'm going to bring all the way up to my fold. The other one I didn't. It wasn't quite all the way up. And then I'm going to bring this one in. And bring it all the way up so that it's level. These two should be level. And fold that down. And when I fold this back down, voila. And again, I really do like how the edges, the corners look when they're rounded. And then I'm going to simply open it back up a little bit so that I can glue it. And I'm going to put a bead of glue over here. I have to get tough with my glue. If you watched the other video that I did last week about the breeze in here, my husband fixed it. Well, the weather stripping fell off and it got really cold in here again. And so everything got stiff again as far as glues, and oh my glory, it was so cold to work in here. So he has fixed it again with a different fix because the weather stripping just was not sticking. There's now a towel shoved up in that corner. I think next spring maybe we'll try to see if we can't break the paint and repaint and all of that, because it's just too cold. Okay, put that here. And you notice I'm holding it down a little bit. It's because I just want to make sure that it sticks. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. Bring that down, and that'll help both those sides stick. Easy. Such an easy fold. And I really like how it looks. All right, let's try it this way. Let's try the big boy. Now I may decide that I don't like it, that it's too big, and I'll end up using this for scrap paper. But we do it exactly the same way. We fold it in half, point to point, bring our point down. And again, I'm going to try to make sure that I'm bringing the point right to the edge here, but I want to make sure that I am more or less folding it level. Okay, I think that's level. Oh, we'll find out. Okay, I'm going to bring this part. Now this is thinner paper, so oh my glory, it is so much easier to use. This is folding so much easier. I almost don't need the bone folder because it's folding so much easier. Bring this end in, line it up so that we're all together. There we go. This is, I can tell right now this is going to be a little bit too big. And then fold our end down. I'm going to go ahead and round the corners anyway. And I don't know that I'm going to glue this one because I think this is going to, it slid out of the, there we go. I think this is going to be too big. I think we're going to have to cut it down to an 8x8. Give me a page. Yeah, it's way, see how it sticks way out? So let me do that real quick. I'll be right back. I'm going to cut this down to an 8x8 and we're going to try again. Okay, I changed my mind and I cut it to a 7.5 by 7.5. So there we go. We fold point to point. We fold, yep, point to point, and then I'm going to, actually this was the part that I folded down before, or the side that I folded down before, so I'm going to do that again. Okay, I apparently did not get it quite folded in half. Let's try that again. There we go. Now I'm going to bring my point down, make sure I am level-ish. There we go. Bring it up. You know, that's part of what this is all about, is experimenting to see what's going to work and what isn't. Bring the other point in. And make sure these lines are level all up here. That's how we get this. And then we bring that down. Now, when I try to put it into my journal, it fits much better. Let me find a bigger page. There we go. We can see it better on this page. Oh, I like that. That's 7.5. I'm glad I cut it down the extra because the 8 would have still been too big. So 7.5 is a good size for a journal. I like the 7.5. So if you've got 6x6s, use them up. If you've got 7.5s, use them up. So let me do a real quick glue on this one. And then I'm going to show you another journal piece. Okay. Another journal card just for fun. Not journal card. Let's try this again. I'm going to show you, and that one has no gluing. So we don't have to worry about whether our glue works or doesn't work in the cold weather. But I will tell you, I do like the thinner paper. The thinner paper versus cardstock definitely makes it easier. So if you have thin 12 by 12 that you're not quite sure what to do with, and what's kind of nice about this is that it works even with ugly papers. because especially if you have white ugly papers, I'm going to leave these pointed. I was going to round them, but I think I'm changing my mind. I like the points on this one. And I'm going to add, just because I folded this before, I'm going to add a little bit extra glue in the middle there to keep that down. Now when I decorate this, I might take, because I've got that little fold in there, I might take a nice big label. Oh, I kind of like that. Maybe I'll just do that real quick. Let me grab up my, this is Dusty Concord, and I like that deeper purple in there. I do have a couple of other purples or lavenders, but I like the deep Dusty Concord. I like how that sets that off nicely. Now we're going to close this one up, and we're going to get out a glue stick. I have my glue book over here with all my notes on it. Checking my notes. I talked about Moving Fun Fold Friday. I talked about the craft fair and the sales. Shout out to Lisa and then Natasha at Treasure Books. So yeah, I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. I just want to get that there. Now you don't even know that I had a funny fold on it to begin with. Okay, we're going to do the bonus fold, and this is really kind of cool. It's taking a book page, and I have here some dictionary page as well as a digital. This was a digital that I got from Seven Plaza, and it's in German. But I wanted to show you another way of using book page, another fold for the book page. And this is very simple. And when you put it onto a journal page, you can have 1, 2, 3 little pockets. And then, or you can do like a flip if you want. You can do, there are a bunch of different ways you can attach it. But let's take a look at how to do that particular one real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and start with I'm going to do this twice. The first thing I want to do, this is printed only on one side. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to bring it up. And I didn't get my edge quite right, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm going to bring it so that I've got about a 2-inch gap here. Okay, so I have flipped it over. So I have my white side up and I'm flipping it over. Now when I flip it over and over again, my text is right side up. And when I flip up this piece, my text is right side up. And I'm not quite level here. So let me get that a little bit more level. There we go. Now at this point, you can see in here, I did a notch and a notch so that you could see where the pockets were. I'm going to do that again with this. And to do those notches, I just have this is a 3/4 inch, oops, get rid of those pieces. This is a 3/4 inch circle punch. And I'm just going to come down and I'm going to make a little notch there. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make a little notch there. Now, if I don't want that, if I want a bigger notch, I can use a bigger hole punch. And in fact, I might do that for this one. Although it did not like my paper very well. So you'll find that with punches, sometimes they will do that. They don't quite punch all the way through the way they should. That's what scissors are for. All right. So now I have 2 holes. They look slightly different. And I did them up, different levels here, whatever. You could do however you want to do it. I'm going to take a moment real quick and ink these edges and just get them into, before I put them into any journal, I want to ink the edges. Before I do any gluing too, I want to ink the edges. You could glue or ink the edges after you glue, but you're going to end up with a slightly different look. Okay. And I'm only doing the one side because this is a one-sided pocket, as it were. There's 3 pockets, but only one side that you're going to see. You're not going to see the back end of this. So you're going to take your glue, and what you want to do is glue this side and this side. So I'm going to come along here and I'm going to glue. If I can get my glue to flow because it is so cold. There we go. Sorry for not being able to see where my glue is going. And then do right along the edge. Okay, I'm going to store this sideways, I think, in order to keep it so it doesn't have to go so far to get any glue out. All right, then I'm going to bring that down. And it is glued. And then I'm just going to glue up the 2 sides here. I'm going to go up one side. Get rid of that little extra glue that's on there. Come up one side. And come up the other side. Of course, now my glue is flowing. And there we go. Easy peasy. A really nice pocket to go into your journal, and you can now put it, when you put it on the page, you have a pocket here, or you could have the pocket on the side. If you want to, put it down so that it's top and bottom, and print it on this side, you could have a pocket over here, you could have a pocket over here, or you could have the pocket over here. You got a pocket here and a pocket here. So depending on how you want to put it in there, this is a multi-pocket piece of paper. What I like about this, and one of the reasons I started to do it was I was playing around and trying to figure out how to do this, was that I don't like it when there's only one sheet. One ply, I should say. Let me go ahead and take, the first thing I'm going to do is cut this in half because I don't need, my journal's not that wide. So I just want half the paper. I'm going to flip it over so that it's upside down, and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to decide about how far I want it to come. In this case, I'm looking at this, I'm going a little bit, it's a little bit past the 2-inch mark. Then I can bring my bottom up. This does a couple things. It puts all of the text so that it's the correct orientation. Nothing is upside down. I really like that. It also is a 2-ply pocket back here so that it's not going to, I'm not putting up a hole in it. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to, when I attach it to the journal, it's 2-ply. It's got more strength to it. It's not going to be falling apart on me, which is a concern. Okay. I've got a great big glue monster here now, which is going to affect the size of my pocket, but that's okay. So we put that one in. Now you notice that for this one, I did not put notches on the side. You don't have to. You can if you want to. You don't have to. You could also completely seal this up so that you don't have a pocket in here. And in fact, I'm kind of thinking I will do that because this is thinner paper. And if I put something in there, it's only going to rip anyway. So I'm going to seal that one, this particular one, right up. This was computer paper. It's stronger. It's got, it can handle things going in and out of it. This is a little bit thinner paper. It's not going to take that quite as easily. I don't mind it on the little pocket being only 1-ply because only little things can go into it. So when I put pieces in here, they'll be little. Whereas here, I have behind it, I have here, and I have the inside. So inside, I can put his pocket, put something in there, I can put something in there, or I can put something behind it. Whereas this one now, I can put something behind it. Or again, if I put it in and I want my pocket to go here, or I want my pocket to go behind here, behind the K, I absolutely can do that. So I've got options as to which opening I want to use, depending upon where I put it into the journal and how I'm going to use it. So there you go, another choice. Okay, if you are enjoying these videos, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and click like to let YouTube know that you like them. And I will see you next Monday. Have a great weekend. Till later, this is Cindy signing off.